Hello there, and this is Dott TV News at 4. I am Priscilla Ifani, and here are the stories we have for you. The Delta State government says all is set for the 2026 Delta State Economic Summit, expressing confidence that the event will attract strategic investment to accelerate the state's economic growth. The government has also dismissed reports surrounding the recent assault on an aide to the governor during the APC Delta Central meeting in Efuru, describing the incident as a personal disagreement rather than a politically motivated attack. The reports. The Delta State government has reaffirmed its commitment to creating an enabling environment for investment as preparations reach an advanced stage for the 2026 Delta State Economic Summit. Addressing journalists during a press briefing in Asaba, the Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Charles Aniagu, said the state is fully prepared to host the summit. He noted that the level of support already received from corporate organizations and sponsors reflects growing confidence in the state's investment agenda and reinforces the expectation that the summit will create meaningful opportunities for investors and the people of Delta State.
We are now proceeding to organize an economic and investment summit where we are very, very optimistic that a number of investors are coming in from Brazil. There are some other persons from China that are also coming in to take advantage of what we have. And of course, you do know that there are a number of other investors that will also be coming indigenous. We are collaborating with Nasima at the moment that I speak with you, because a number of persons have trusts in the transparent and accountable leadership of Uborowuri. A good number of very notable companies in Nigeria have also supported us. We wanted just one diamond sponsor, but today we are having 5 diamond sponsors. We thought that it was going to be just one good sponsor, but we have about 3 good sponsors. We also have silver sponsors that are bringing in money for us to be able to also organize this particular summit.
Aniago said this year's summit will focus on key sectors with significant economic potential, including the blue economy, oil and mining, agriculture and livestock, as well as the creative and hospitality industries. He added that renowned experts and distinguished keynote speakers from within and outside Nigeria will lead discussions aimed at unlocking investment opportunities across the sectors.
In the course of the summit, we have a number of areas that we are going to be exposing to the investing public. Of course, the big one, which is the big elephant in the room, is the agriculture sector, where we are going to be able to showcase the enormous potentials that are bound in our dear state, to also look in the direction of having livestock production in Delta, which is why a number of these are brothers in Brazil that have become quite proficient in the management of livestock are also showing a very, very notable interest. We also believe in that a number of persons in the real sector, particularly in the aspect of housing development, will also be coming in, so that at the end of the day, we are going to be able to have interactions and expose to them those other opportunities that indeed abound in our state.
The commissioner also addressed the recent incident involving an aide who was assaulted during the APC Delta Central meeting in Efuru. He described the incident as a personal misunderstanding that escalated, stressing that it should not be misconstrued as a political orchestrated attack, contrary to reports circulating in some quarters.
What a number of other opposition political parties are trying to do is to skew the narrative to make it look as if it has to do with the support that we have for Mr. President. It is nowhere near that at all. The governor have also directed, and very seriously too, that the security agencies must fish out those behind the disturbance, because as a government, as an administration, we do not take kindly to any form of violence.
Aniagu maintained that the state government remains committed to driving economic growth through strategic investment while ensuring that law and order are maintained across the states. Reporting from Asaba, Priscilla Ifani, Dott TV News. Meanwhile, reactions have continued to trail the alleged operation of a purported fake government agency, the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, allegedly linked to Prince Adeyemi, following President Bola Tinubu's directive to the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission to investigate the matter and submit its findings within 30 days. Success Benjamin has the reports.
Despite the ongoing court proceedings, President Bola Tinubu in July 2026 directed the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) to conduct a comprehensive investigation into the matter and submit its findings within 30 days.
I mean, you go to America, for example, it is a given that they negotiate lobbying. It is in the law that this is the markup for lobbying. People pay for that. People raise money through lobbying. So they legislated it and made it into law. So it's easy to now say we can track this money. Now, when it comes to situations like this, the question now is this about budget pardon? Is this about corruption? Or is it about a situation where we have created a political system that enables these kinds of practices? If we have created a political system that enables these kind of practices, we're just going to keep seeing more of it. So this calls to attention of the fact that it is time Nigeria begins to be honest with themselves. What kind of system and politics are we running? Is it one that empowers the budget in a manner that they are used effectively for the purposes designed? Or are the budget a means for somebody's pecuniary interest where they use that as a means to siphon money from the treasury, from our own collective wealth?
For many Nigerians, the concern extends beyond the alleged activities of one individual. They are questioning how such an organization reportedly operated, engaged with public institutions, and allegedly gained recognition before its legitimacy came under scrutiny.
You can't say something is fake when it's in the presence of a reputable organization. You can't get a space in the secretariat without passing through various processes. You understand? So I think there's something fishy in the system, and I think there's something missing within the authorities. And it's very uncalled for us to come publicly and say something is fake and it has an account with the CBN.
Everyone involved should be persecuted so that the country can actually get better. Because I believe that if they can actually persecute those that is involved, and next time other people will learn from it and not to do the same thing. So that is my own opinion now.
As the ICPC continues its investigation, many Nigerians hope the outcome will not only establish the facts surrounding the alleged fake agency, but also recommend measures to strengthen transparency, accountability, and due diligence across public institutions.
It's a good thing that this reared its head. It is a pointer to the fact that this is not the first time special purpose vehicles are used for purposes like this. I mean, the House of Assembly, the National Assembly that is, has come out to say that they've identified the fact that there are other special purpose vehicles where it's a means through which funding negotiated for. Some may call it siphoning, some may call it laundering, some may call it budget padding and all of that.
From the whistle blown in October 2025, with the clock ticking on the 30-day deadline on the ICPC's investigation, Nigerians will be watching closely, not just for answers, but for accountability. Whether this probe restores public confidence or raises more questions remains to be seen. Success Benjamin, reporting for Dott TV.
Thank you very much, their Success. To the courts now. Delta State High Court, sitting in Ogwashuku, Anyocha South local government area of the state, has sentenced 2 men to death by hanging for the kidnapping and murder of Miss Elozinu Joshua Leah Ogege, a 300-level mass communication student of Delta State University, Abraka, bringing to a close a 7-year legal battle over one of the state's most notorious murder cases. Justice Flora Ngozi Azinge, who delivered judgment on Wednesday, convicted Macaulay Desmond Ogenemaro and Enaike Onorode on charges of conspiracy to commit kidnapping, conspiracy to commit murder, and murder. The court, however, discharged and acquitted the third defendant, Nwosisi Benedict Uche, after finding insufficient evidence to sustain the charges leveled against him. Ogege, an indigene of Isoko, Delta State, was gruesomely murdered in 2019 after reportedly leaving to meet an agent who had offered to help her secure accommodation within the Delta community in Abraka. Her death sparked widespread outreach after reports alleged that parts of her body, including her eyes, breast, and heart, had been removed in what investigators linked to a ritual killing involving suspected internet fraudsters, popularly known as Yahoo Yahoo Plus operators. In other news, Delta State Local Government Joint Account Community has approved Governor Sheriff Oborewori's decision on the career progression of primary school graduate teachers in the state from grade level 14 to grade level 17. The council chairman were unanimous in their approval of the governor's decision during their JAC meeting held in Asaba. Speaking shortly after the meeting, the Commissioner for Primary Education, Rose Ezewo, said Governor Sheriff Oborevori's landmark approval for the elevation of primary school teachers to grade level 17 was a major boost to the teaching profession at the state's basic education sector. She noted that the decision would encourage more qualified professionals to seek employment in public primary schools, as teachers would no longer see their career progression ending at grade level 14. No fewer than 5,040 registered smallholder farmers in Delta State have benefited from the distribution of 20,160 bags of free fertilizers as the Delta State government continues to move to strengthen food security and increase agricultural productivity. The empowerment to collaboration with the Delta State government flagged off the National Fund and South Farm Input Support Program held in Ibuza, Oshimiri North local government area of the state. Speaking at the flag off ceremony, the coordinator of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Karim Abdulaziz, said the intervention reflects President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to achieving national food security under the Renewed Hope agenda. He said the program was designed to bridge the input gaps facing farmers, reduce production costs, boost crops yield, and improve the economic well-being of rural communities. Moving on, the Chief of Army Staff, Y.D. Shabiu, has approved the appointment of general officers commanding to newly established Nigerian Army units. This followed the approval by President Bola Tinubu for the establishment of 4 additional divisions. The Army said that the landmark development forms part of the ongoing efforts to strengthen the Nigerian Army force structure, expand its operational footprint, and enhance command and control, as well as improve the service capacity to effectively respond to Nigerians' evolving security challenges. It noted that the newly established divisions would immediately commence operations in the respective locations on attainment of initial operational capability. The Nigerian Immigration Service has cautioned Nigerians and foreign nationals to beware of fake websites and fraudsters posing at its official online platforms, urging applicants to use only authorized channels for passport, visa, and other immigration services. The warning was issued through the service social media platforms in Abuja, where the NIS said the advisory became necessary following the activities of scammers exploiting unsuspecting individuals seeking immigration-related services. According to the service, applicants should access passport services only through its designated official passport portal, while separate unauthorized platforms exist for visa applications submitted through Nigerian embassies. Electronic visas, temporary work permits, and the combined expatriate residence permit and aliens card. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board will usher in a new leadership on Friday as its outgoing registrar, Ishak Oloyode, formally hands over to his successor, Shegun Aina, bringing an end to nearly a decade of reforms under Oloyode's administration. JAMB disclosed that the official handover ceremony would take place on Friday, with proceedings streamed live across the board's official social media platforms. In a notice issued on Wednesday, the examination body described the event as a significant milestone in its institutional history and invited members of the public to witness the transition. The ceremony will officially mark the aspiration of Oloyode's tenure as registrar and the commencement of INA's leadership of Nigeria's Tertiary Admissions Agency. Coming up shortly on the news at 4, Japan earthquake toll rises to 34 as evacuees battle sweltering heat, and that's on the foreign scene. We also have sports stories all coming up after the break. Please stay with us.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
The Delta State government invites business leaders, global investors, policymakers, and industry captains to the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026, themed Harnessing Our Strengths and Unlocking Our Potentials. Chief guest of honor, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON. Keynote speaker, Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, GCON. Guest speaker, renowned scholar, Professor Patrick Lumumba. Chairman of the occasion, Engineer Austin Avuru. Other distinguished local and international participants will also be in attendance. Date, August 3 to 5, 2026. Time, 10 a.m. daily. Venue, Dome Event Center, Asaba. Chief host, His Excellency, Right Honorable Sheriff Obrewori, Governor, Delta State. Announcer, Dr. Kingsley Emu, Secretary to Delta State Government and Chairman Planning Committee.
Hello, my name is Sheriff Obrewori, the Governor of Delta State. I have the pleasure to invite you to Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026, taking place in Asaba from August 3rd to 5th, 2026. Over 40 prospective investors from Brazil and China, policymakers, business leaders, and international development partners are expected at this summit. It is an opportunity to connect your business ideas with capital, foster strategic partnerships, and take your business to a new level of growth and expansion. This government believes strongly in the economic development model that is led by the private sector. Hence, we have put in place investor-friendly policies that encourage private investors, support business growth, and foster massive industrialization of our state. With Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, GCON, as keynote speaker, and Professor Patrick Lumumba as guest speaker, the summit promises to be an exciting and rewarding time for all participants. So, join us and be part of shaping the next chapter of Delta State's economic.
Ready to be part of one of Africa's most exciting investment gatherings? Here's how to secure your spot for the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026.
First, visit investdelta.ng and click Register Now. Next, fill in your details accurately, including your name, email address, phone number, organization, position, and industry.
Then, select the sector you're most interested in, from energy and the digital economy to agriculture, mining, tourism, transport infrastructure, and more. Also, choose the attendee category that best describes you.
Review your information carefully and submit your registration. Once it's approved, you receive a confirmation email. Be sure to save your confirmation as you will need it for accreditation and entry into the summit.
Join investors, business leaders, innovators, policymakers, and development partners at the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026, happening August 3rd to 5th at the Dome Event Center, Asaba. Visit investdelta.ng today and secure your place. Delta is ready for business. Are you?
Welcome back, and now to the rest of our stories. Speaker of the Osun State House of Assembly, Adewale Egbedun, has alleged that the arrest of the Secretary to the state government, Teslim Igbalayi, was ordered by the State Commissioner of Police, Ibrahim Gatan, following an incident in which the police chief was booed at a public event. Egbedun made the allegation in a personal statement issued on Thursday, contradicting the official accounts earlier provided by the Osun State Police Command regarding the circumstances surrounding the SSG's arrest. According to the speaker, the incident began during an independent National Electoral Commission stakeholders meeting attended by himself, Deputy Governor Kola Adeosi, and the SSG. He claimed the Commissioner of Police was booed by members of the public while addressing participants at the event. And now to Taraba State. A team of operatives from the Taraba State Police Command has arrested 2 suspects following a violent altercation that led to the death of Commercial Cycle Union Pass distributor at Angwan Kasa Junction in Jalingo, the Taraba State capital. The incident, which occurred on Wednesday evening, triggered panic among residents and commuters in the area. It was gathered that the violent crash erupted when the deceased intercepted a commercial tricycle operator for operating without the mandatory daily union ticket. It was further gathered that, as the victim insisted that the operator should purchase the pass, the operator left his tricycle at the scene and went to mobilize thugs, who later attacked the victim. And in Kwara State, families of 176 residents abducted from Wuro community in Kaima local government area of Kwara State have renewed calls for urgent federal intervention after terrorists allegedly threatened to force female captives into marriage and execute the remaining hostages if their demands are not met. The victims, most of whom are women, children, and nursing mothers, were kidnapped during a coordinated attack on Wuro and neighboring communities, including Nuku and Koso, on and about February 3, 2026. Community leaders said more than 200 residents were killed in the assault, while scores of others were also taken away by the attackers. Nearly 6 months after the attack, the abductees remain in captivity, with relatives expressing growing fears over their safety. And now to the foreign scene. The number of people who have died after a powerful earthquake hit southwestern Japan has risen to 34. Rescuers are still working to find survivors after the magnitude 6.8 earthquake hit Kumato Prefecture on Kyushu Island on Tuesday, causing widespread damage to houses and power lines. Several people died after parts of a shopping center collapsed and an explosion ripped through the mall about an hour later. Thousands of displaced residents are now staying in evacuation centers, though the challenges is to keep them cool and hydrated as the region battles sweating heat. 3 Greek firefighters have died tackling wildfires in Crete and the Peloponnese. In Crete, gale force winds whipped up flames, prompting the evacuation of several villages, and 2 firefighters died after becoming trapped when the blaze swept through the Retomin region in the island's west. Another firefighter died after being found unconscious near the southern Peloponnese port town of Gethaio. And the U.S. military says it has completed a heavy wave of strike against Iran in retaliation for Tuesday's attempted ballistic missile attacks on the American forces. CENTCOM said it hit dozens of Islamic Revolutionary Guard corps targeted in response to Iran firing on U.S. bases in Jordan and at ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian state media said the latest strikes have killed 3 people, including a 2-year-old child on Qashim Island, while other locations were also hit in the south and west of the country. The latest hostilities come on a week that has seen the conflict expand, with the first public announced joint US-Saudi strikes targeting Iranian proxies in Iraq. Meanwhile, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has said an object had crashed into a field in eastern Poland in the early hours of Thursday was probably a Russian missile. The unidentified object caused a 10-meter wide crater a short distance from the village of Tanawa, Colonia, 92 kilometers from the border with Ukraine during a large-scale Russian attack on the cities of Lviv, Kyiv, and near the Kyiv Rail Island. Tusk said initially that all the indications were that the missile had violated Polish airspace was a Russian Kh-101 cruise missile during a specially conveyed meeting in the eastern city of Lublin. For sports stories, let's now join Anthony Uche.
UEFA's 55 member associations will convene an emergency virtual meeting this week to address Gianni Infantino's controversial proposal to sell stakes in FIFA's major competitions to private investors. The plan involves creating a commercial subsidiary to manage flagship tournaments, including the Men's and Women's World Cups and the Club World Cup, aimed at generating what it says is additional global revenue. In response to the escalating dispute, European nations are actively discussing a potential boycott of the World Cup to block the initiative. The proposal has drawn fierce resistance from UEFA, which issued a rare statement criticizing the move before official release by FIFA. European football's governing body warned that the plans, quote, had crossed a line by risking excessive control and influence from private investors over the sport's most prestigious events. The latest dispute marks another chapter in the strained relationship between FIFA and UEFA, following previous disagreements over proposals to stage the World Cup every 2 years and other controversial decisions surrounding this summer's tournament. The UEFA president, Alexander Seferin, also boycotted the final of the just concluded FIFA World Cup 2026. Still on FIFA, the World Football Governing Body has launched formal disciplinary proceedings against Argentina following altercations after their 1-0 loss in the World Cup final to Spain at the New York, New Jersey Stadium, as well as multiple misconducts throughout the tournament. Following an ethics assessment, players Nahuel Molina and Leandro Paredes, alongside assistant coach Roberto Ayala, face assault charges under FIFA's disciplinary code, which carries a minimum of 3-match suspension. Molina and teammates Thiago Almada, as well as Spain's Gavi, are also accused of unsportsmanlike behavior, which carries at least a 1-match ban. Additionally, the Argentinian Football Association faces charges covering multiple matches for security breaches, discriminatory chants, spectators throwing objects, and political demonstrations. Notably, the investigation addresses the squad displaying a Las Malvinas son Argentinas banner regarding their Falkland Islands following the semi-final win over England, violating rules against using sporting events for non-sporting displays. Now to Formula One, where President Stefano Domenicali announced that the 2026 championship will conclude in Europe if ongoing Middle East conflicts forces the cancellation of season-closing races in Qatar and Abu Dhabi. A final decision is set for mid-September, with Italy's Imola circuit emerging as the frontrunner to host the alternative finale, following the planned Las Vegas Grand Prix on November the 21st. The security crisis stemming from the US-Israel war with Iran already caused the cancellation of April's Bahrain and Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. To help meet commercial contractual obligations, Malaysia was added to the calendar for September, but Formula One management remains committed to securing a proper final race to wrap up the season. Now to some transfer news, where Liverpool are actively pursuing Paris Saint-Germain winger Bradley Barcola to replace Mohamed Salah. The 23-year-old France international has agreed in principle to a move to Anfield, though Liverpool's proposed bid of around £100 million to £110 million remains below PSG's valuation of the player, which is at £145 million. Meanwhile, Real Madrid are linked to the €50 million move for Manchester City midfielder Rodri, who has 1 year left on his current contract. Elsewhere, Juventus have struck a deal to sign PSG striker Randal Colomwani on loan with an obligation to buy for up to €50 million. Inter Milan are also considering a move for Curtis Jones, while their expected free transfer signing of John Stones likely ends their pursuit of Tottenham's Christian Romero. In other moves, Fulham are nearing deals for Real Madrid duo of Cesar Palacios and Gonzalo Garcia. Brentford are targeting Lens midfielder Mamadou Sangare to replace Jordan Henderson, who has departed for Chelsea, and Hull City are in discussions to sign Leon Bailey from Aston Villa. Anthony Uche reporting for Dott TV News.
Thank you very much, dear Uchi. That's all we have for you on Dott TV News at 4. Thank you for your time. I am Priscilla Ifani.